Good morning, the resource person of today's webinar, Mr. Talluri. He is the chief of a startup company, I can call, in Hyderabad, who has specialized in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we are having a very eminent today to talk to the students on the opportunities after completing artificial intelligence and machine learning. Before I go into more, I just want to just say briefly about artificial intelligence and machine learning. See, it's a subfield of computer science which deals with designs and development of software systems that are able to simulate aspects of human intelligence. This includes software systems for recognizing textual and oral language and images, planning processes and actions, solving tasks using mathematical procedures, and interpreting and administrating large unstructured data quantities. They also include self-corrective systems and interactive software systems that are able to adapt their operation to their users. BSc Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at AJK College is affiliated to Bharatiyar University. We would be one of the first affiliated colleges to start this program under Bharatiyar University and approved by UGC. This program will help students to become acquainted with basic principles of artificial intelligence towards recognition, induction, critical thinking, learning, and information portrayal. The students will develop an understanding on how to implement the principles of artificial intelligence in expert systems, intelligent agents, artificial neural networks, and other models of machine learning. Students of BSc Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at AJK will be able to investigate the potential, present degree, ramifications, and restrictions of intelligent framework. They will be also able to analyze, evaluate, and understand the history of artificial intelligence and identify several areas that are not yet explored in this domain. As all of you know, this artificial intelligence and machine learning is a new program which has got tremendous job opportunities at every field. The students joining this program, in fact, are very lucky that they would be one of the first batches to come out with a degree of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Of course, this program has been started long back online, and usual India has been behind in introducing this technology. But now a lot of deemed universities especially have taken a lead in offering this program in artificial intelligence and machine learning. We are very delighted and happy that we would be one of the first institutions in Bharatiyar University and one of the few institutions in Tamil Nadu to offer this program. We would be having a well-trained set of teachers who would be taking this program to the students. We would be also signing a series of MOUs with the people in the industry and people like experts like Mr. Srikanth Talluri, who would be guiding us in this program. I welcome all the students who have joined this program for this webinar being organized by the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. And I hope this webinar will be really useful to the students who would be joining this program. I have also a lot of our students who have studied here and who have also maybe some alumni who are in this program. I would request them to spread this message to everyone that This program is one of the most important programs in computer science, which is going to have a great impact in the time to come. I once again welcome our resource person, Mr. Srikanth Talluri, on behalf of the AJK College of Arts and Science, the faculty members, the department, and the management. I'm very happy that sir accepted our invitation to talk to the students. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I would request Mr. Srikanth Talluri to come on board. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, sir, for that introduction and this wonderful arrangement today. Dr. Ajit, especially, I thank you for reaching out to me and your passion to introduce artificial intelligence and the data science program. And I remember, was one of your invited guests for when we were launching this program as well in the month of June, if I remember, right? So, and now I'm happy to be part of an event where we are trying to give more clarity, throw more light on this, space and why, artificial intelligence basically should be chosen as a career option now, and and what kind of options or what kind of basically career options are really existing here. And I'm like let me introduce quickly myself. So today's topic is 1 million plus careers in AI. Yes, it's the fact, it's the truth that there are millions of new emerging careers, untitled, even till date, the few kind of roles are even not discovered. So in the next 1 decade, you will see a new kind of jobs, new kind of roles, new kind of experience altogether. And this is where we are laying the foundation now with, the programs like BSc and artificial intelligence, data science, and, through Bharatiya University and AJK College being the forerunner in this race. And this is Srikanth Talluri. I am the founder, the co-founder of InCube ecosystem. We are a digital ecosystem. We are a hood of different flavors. DX Labs is our experimental ground for the disruptive incubator, where we are trying to incubate these artificial intelligence and blockchain, the new wave of digital technologies driven business models, products as such. And yeah, SOIL School of Innovation Leadership is after school, after college, lab experience as a whole, where you learn basically whatever you're learning on your campus, your syllabus, an extension to your campuses, and where it's more like a workshop model. You come there, you work on the, designing the models and the products as such. And yes, we do have an artificial intelligence journal, which throws light on the opportunities and in different dimensions as such. So yes, InCube is thoroughly promoting and focused on artificial intelligence, on other careers as such. So and what exactly, everyone starting with InCube, Bharatiya University, we are partnered with Bharatiya University in this space actually, and that is where AJK College, being the part of the ecosystem, we do work with the ecosystem players or the partners as such in promoting the talent, products and ventures out of these campuses as such. So this is where InCube focuses as a whole. And now coming to the career part. So we all have a lot of questions when it comes to career, and and a lot of questions. Okay, what should I do? Should I get into a job? What kind of a job? I mean, like, is career just a job, or is it beyond a job? All these things, right? So basically, to some people, career means a job. a 9 to 5 job, or maybe some working for some company on a payroll, and getting growth over there. So this is the large scale market. What we have in India is, the last 2 or 3 decades, if you see, we have a lot of IT revolution, a lot of IT parks, and these companies, thousands of companies, global companies can come here. They've set up their campuses. We have a lot of recruitment going in there, and that's one career option, a large scale, a mass market, that what we have. And all the colleges, universities, and all are in the process of preparing our the next gen towards these industries, aligning them as per the needs of the industry. And few fraction of them, they choose to get into a business or a entrepreneurship mode, and this culture is catching up now a lot. Getting into a startup, floating a business, coming up with innovative ideas, and we have all those mobiles, app stores, everything as such, right? So we have opportunities where where we can float a one-person company to a small teams, 4 to 5 members. They start off a company, and there are decent revenues which are actually driving those companies. And this is globally. We have seen this trend in the last 1 decade, after Apple having the iOS, the Play stores coming into picture, the App Store, and all those games and gamified options and all throwing for the youngsters as such while they're in the college. And is it social work? Yes, of course, there is social entrepreneurship as well, and as well as those who are planning to get into the government jobs and NGOs, and plan their career in the civil and the citizen services. Okay, yes, there are now plenty of options when it comes to AI and machine learning, data science. There are plenty of options opening up in the government and the non-government sector as well, which was not the case before. We were more like the desk-based jobs and all, but now and going forward, you will see there's plenty of options even in the government and non-government sector. So yes, if you're planning for a job, yes, you want to work for somebody, some company, the top brands in the world, yes, you have a plan to float a company by yourself, or you want to start off with a product-based company or a service-based company. We have seen a lot such companies coming up in the last 4 or 5 years, even in India. Okay, or you want to work for government, or maybe for the social welfare organizations globally. Okay, yes, in any dimension and in any direction, we do have career options when it comes to artificial intelligence, data science as such, and as a venture creator or as a venture orchestrator, in both the modes. Okay, so venture creators, yeah, we did discuss, and venture orchestrators are those basically who are involved in the other companies, and they take care of the the respective venture or a company or the business operations through their technology services, as well as the management and strategy services. So now let's dig more into the artificial intelligence and its market as such. So in the last 1 decade of evolution of these technologies and all, we have seen first, they've been more adopted across the social media or the social networks like YouTube, your entertainment space, and then Facebook, your Instagrams and all. There's a lot of AI, which was used in the large scale over there, and a lot of the data science, machine learning driven applications over there. Your face recognition, you post a photograph over there, yes, it recognizes you. These are all AI based applications, and it's slowly penetrated to the banking and financial sector, and then started into the government and other sectors. So how they spread globally is, if we take US as the the reference, because mostly the mass market, the big market, is always focused towards US, as they are the forerunners and the first quick, the early adopters of these technology. US, if we are assuming today, based on US, United States of America's market adoption, you see, how the rest of the world is faring and where India is standing here. We are almost nearing the adoption, we have that exposure. Yes, we are ready to adopt AI, in every walk of our life, every sector, every industry as such. From China is a bit ahead of us, 92% adoption and readiness to adopt. AI into every part of their economy as such. You see, Germany, we always knew that Germany was the forerunner in the technologies in the last century. And today, if you see, India and, is far ahead in the new wave of technology adoption and, and into the complete life, social life as such. And this is the kind of a landscape. This landscape or the numbers give us very good understanding on how the industry readiness is when it comes to adopting AI into their businesses as such. And we'll discuss the large scale opportunity here. How we have mentioned million plus careers. Now we are getting there. Okay, so the robo revolution, is going to create 58 million more new jobs in the coming 5 years. So this is the statement. This is from the official stats from the World Economic Forum, the IDC. That they all do a lot of study, and the US artificial intelligence, the Board of Artificial Intelligence in US, they do these studies actually in every territory. They come up with these stats based on how the adoption rate is, how much readiness is there in those territories, how much of the CEOs or the CXOs are really ready to spend on it. We'll look at those figures in the next few slides. So if you see here, just the robo revolution is going to create 58 million jobs. That is around 5.8 crore opportunities. Okay, not a small opportunity. And we also see the reports from PricewaterhouseCoopers. If AI will displace around 7 million jobs, then roughly 7.2 million jobs will be created as well. Why this statement is arising is, basically there are fears that, AI might replace humans and AI might reduce the job opportunities, or it might kill or take our opportunities. No. Yes, it will replace the jobs, but a previous generation or the previous conventional model of jobs. The new jobs are going to be created, the new way or the new skill set altogether, which you are going to learn in the BSc program of artificial intelligence and machine learning. The new syllabus that is framed is in accordance to those jobs that are being created. The legacy jobs, the old or the conventional kind of jobs, they are slowly, it's a diminishing market where automation and AI is taking over those jobs which were performed by humans. That means we need more people to sit and work and create those AI-driven products. So there is need for more people to understand what AI is, what machine learning, what data science, what is the deep learning, where it can be applied, and is it really this is this a space where we can really use this, and which industries are really requiring these solutions and all. So for that, yes, we need to understand the basic building blocks as such, and that is what your undergrad program is going to give you, and where you apply it is equally important. And this is where the current stats what we are discussing is very clearly indicating that there are more jobs that are going to be created, and the kind of revenue, it's more than 1.2 trillion per annum. AI driven organizations will steal the market. So they're going to create new economy, they're going to create a completely new set of revenue altogether, which never existed before. So that means more salaries or more compensations and more returns of investment. So your investment of time in learning artificial intelligence and based technologies, and then learning to implement them, yes, are we going to get the return on investment for whatever the time and the money or the efforts what we put in here? Yes, that is the kind of economy that is being created. 1.2 trillion per annum is not a joke. And and this is happening. The demand for skilled AI professionals is raging fire within countries like US, China, India, Israel, Germany, all the top countries, Switzerland, Canada. So it's a globally, there is a need for talent, domestic market, global market, and the world is flat now. And with this gig economy coming into picture, COVID has pushed everyone into online job mode. Yesterday, I was looking at Ernst & Young, one of the top big four companies. They say we are hiring people into our virtual mode of the consulting contractors and the full timers and all who can work virtually, call it as gigwork.com or something, which is fascinating, right? So you don't have to really even worry about relocating to some other city or country to get a job. People are ready to hire you from where you are right now. So that is the new culture or the job culture that is taking shape. And all these factors put together, those 58 million new jobs and, replacing the 7 million jobs or 7 to 8 million jobs or more. In fact, these are the figures, just the random figures, based on few studies as well, not from every territory. So if we dig deep into India and Indian market itself, as of now, we don't have such a report in place, but definitely, we'll try to get those stats as well. In Indian market, the domestic market itself, my prediction or the experts' prediction is going around like, at least 4 to 5 million jobs, 40 to 50 lakh new jobs will be created. And even recently, the government of Telangana, they did announce in the next 2 years, we can see around 800K jobs coming into India, in the AI, the artificial intelligence front. So these are the official stats from the government and, those research agencies as well. So there is a huge opportunity, huge opportunity. But yes, we have to come out of that conventional thinking. Okay, it's not just, learning computer science or maybe, just electronics or maybe, getting into some single discipline program and all. But how AI disciplines are different from the previous generation of computer science, getting into a program, okay, just learning the logic, that's it, you're good, somebody will hire you. No. Here, the story is different. We'll get there. Okay, and as we were discussing more about, the stats, which industries are ready to adopt, okay, you see, the social media marketing and all organizations which are already deploying AI, 71% of organizations are already consuming AI. That means they need talent. They need more talent who can actually, work for them and grow their business. Marketing and sales, 66%. Okay. And customer relations and interactions, those chatbots and all, 61% already adoption has started. HR, workforce management, which were more of manual jobs earlier. Okay, now you see AI penetrating into HR, workforce, security, fraud management and all. See, 50% you already see there. Operational improvement, the kind of jobs, 47% of penetration are there. And those organizations who are considering, you see 25% more. Okay, and logistics and supply chain, your Uber kind of companies or your Merck's kind of companies, or across the globe we have logistics and supply chain already 36% of penetration, and 28% more organizations are considering artificial intelligence adoption. So every industry, every horizontal, every vertical, is now already consuming AI, as well as considering to more adopt AI into their organizations. And the startups specifically, born digital startups. Okay, born digital startups are those who are born with the core digital DNA, and that's where even we work with. So even our AI journal, to that matter, we have a lot of, though it's a publishing house, simply it appeals to be a publishing house, that in the back end, actually, we do consume or we do adopt artificial intelligence driven, business process, actually, for our operational purpose. In fact, so there is AI even, in soil, in our admission process, we did deploy, AI where, the candidate selection, or, how do we actually get people onboarded? Because we are not a regular campus, we are extension to, your existing campuses. So how do we actually pick this talent from there? And DX Labs, we are working on few studies, on different life streams as such, smart agriculture or smart cities, what kind of solutions can actually get into smart cities and this waste management or something on those lines as such. Okay, so these are all born digital products or born digital organizations. For them, starting day one, they need such talent. Okay, despite of their size of the company and all, they weave their story on this technology as such. So there are huge opportunities, and how do you prepare there is, yes, we need to learn technology skills. your AI, ML, data science, you have wonderful syllabus, part of your curriculum, the BSc program. You get all the building blocks, the basics, the frameworks, everything, from your textbooks, from your class assignments, from your, day to day, your semester, as a whole. And, as you progress through these frameworks and all, when you want to actually convert them into solution, we need to get more skills here. That's the design thinking skills, the product design skills. You have to extend your classroom learnings, and you need to understand these innovation frameworks. Okay, a bit of management frameworks. Don't have to get into details of everything. A tangential understanding of what agile mode of project or a product design is, or how do you actually get to people management or supply chain management. What is really required to apply this AI to create a product. Okay, hands-on learning is lot embedded, should be embedded into your day-to-day learning, into your curriculum. This was not the case earlier, but if you're getting into AI and machine learning in these programs, you have to one has to sit every day, create them, train your models, and that is when it's a continuous learning for you as well as for your model, for your AI product. So you have to go into the venture-based learning parallelly. Okay, so and you need to understand those entrepreneurial frameworks as well. So how AI careers are different from the earlier generation of careers? Yes, earlier if you just knew the technology tools and frameworks, you were good, but now extend it. You need the time competence, and this is where we call them as dragonfly careers, because with one wing, I don't think a dragonfly can really fly. With one or two wings, at least it can, it can just move. But with the four wings, it can maneuver in any direction swiftly, and target its prey. That's, and for somebody who's seeking a job, or somebody who's actually targeting a startup, they should start thinking like a dragonfly, and have competency in every wing. And you have 3 wonderful years to do that when you're getting into the program. And even if parents are attending this session, your kids are going to have, your children are going to have wonderful time in the next 3 years. Let them experiment, let them create products. Don't just let them know that hey, this is just the classwork and you're just writing the exams marks. No, that is not going to really help. They need to create products. They need to do a lot of lab efforts. They need to get involved in problem solving. So let them get into such kind of programs, let them get into such kind of exercises, and it all comes only by practice. And by the time, if we are adopting this mindset and this approach towards careers, okay, from your campuses and outside your campuses as well, that is when the kind of economy, the 1.2 trillion or more economy per annum, which is anticipated globally, we can contribute to that. We can share some slices from there, and we will create livelihood for ourselves as well as others. So otherwise, yes, we're just learning some technology. We might gain some good competency in the technology framework, but ultimately we'll fail to implement them. Without practice, your AI or your any of your artificial intelligence products and your careers will not fly. That is for sure. So get this practice, get this mindset before getting into the program. And those who are already into the program, make it very clear. Okay, I am going to get into problem solving. Don't worry if you're in the first semester or second semester. No, start off with something. Don't worry about the being correct or coming up with the perfect results on day one. No, try, you'll fail. You try, you'll fail again, and maybe by the end of second year, that's it. You'll gain. Okay, this is the knack. Okay, this is the actually formula, or this is the kind of approach which will really help me to create a product. And then you can target, Apple or Google. You have hundreds of such companies, Zomato, Uber, and more new companies are coming out, government, anyway. Okay, just show them, hey, this is what I've created. Hey, this is what we are actually working on. This is what we've been working on. And yes, this is the work. Your resume should be your, work rather than just a piece of paper with all those things mentioned over there. So going forward, your resumes will be your the products that you have created or the project results that you have derived. So the next 3 years, this is the target, and the first 2 years more aggressively, because once you gain the proficiency, by the third year, nobody can really stop you. And these efforts will actually convert you into those T-shaped, you'll gain those T-shaped skill cluster where you have depth of knowledge on your technology tools, the AI, machine learning, those tools as such, the natural language processing, your GAN, there's lot of, neural networks. I've seen your syllabus as well, wonderful concepts, everything you're touching base with every single framework over there. Good. But, depth of knowledge is good, but without the breadth of understanding what a teamwork is, how you actually apply the critical thinking, how you actually, plan a project, how you deliver it, nothing is going to really work. So, this is where, your evolution should have a dragonfly mindset, and then become a T-shaped professional, possess the T-shaped skill cluster by the time you graduate, and that's it. Sky is the limit. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to share today. And thank you for this opportunity, Dr. Ajay.
Students, you have got any clarifications, please ask. The freshers who are going to join artificial intelligence, or anyone who has got any clarifications on artificial intelligence and machine learning, about the topics you are going to learn, etc., etc. Anyone can either ask through the mic or they can put it in the chat box. I think someone is asking it. Sir, can you just read?
Okay, this the questions about the deep learning machine language. I don't see any questions here. I think they are not coming up with the topics. So we're not going to discuss any technology depth here because our time doesn't really permit, basically. So if you want to understand what deep learning is, where it is being applied, machine learning, the best examples are your Tesla car. Just do a case study on how the Tesla's car really work, and the driverless cars. Okay, and in real time, how it is capturing, how it is actually transmitting, and how there is the processing is happening. Okay, and how immediately the instructions are sent back to the navigational system of the car. Everything is happening in span of just few micro milliseconds. So just do some kind of research here, and that will give you real good understanding on where technology is being applied. To understand any concept, any concept as such, try to understand the application. You're the power users, right? You're the power users, and you're already using these products as such. Dig a little more, and internet, get into the tackle of your model, where self-exploration is now the mantra. Okay, start Googling, deep learning case study, or deep learning autonomous vehicle, or deep learning in, Facebook. You have real good, stories given by, one of few authors, the professionals who are making it very simple there, very simple. I can actually push some articles as well to Dr. Ajit to share with the students and the parent community. You don't even have to know the technology. They're just simplifying, even our AI journal to that matter. You just navigate to there, and you get to understand what it is all about, because in 1 or 2 minutes nobody can really just ping the URL of the journal, and these stories are carved by high schoolers and college students, trust me, and they understand it very well now. So they have spent a couple of weeks, and they've come up with these stories where AI is being implemented in the the driverless cars, HR, supply chain, smart factories. Somebody is asking a question about the smart cities, and smart assistants like Siri and Alexa. Yes, you can create one, and there are a lot of frameworks. If you go to Amazon, the bot framework, Lex and all, you get a lot of open-ended, for the open source models over there, and you can start exploring them, try to understand them. And in order to understand them, yes, you need to have the basics of those mathematics, statistics, and all those algorithms to okay, will this really help my project or not, or will this really suffice my requirement? Your basics have to be covered there, and that is where your classroom sessions, you have to pay more attention to your classroom sessions and try to understand the basic frameworks, and then explore Siri, Alexa, and all those frameworks as such. And that's it. And somebody is asking, do we need to know the basics of coding or programming to join the course? For this program, for your BSc program, it covers the basics, right? So because you're coming from the +2 region, I don't think your coding or programming skills are really required, right, Dr. Rajat? So, I mean, is coding and programming mandatory to get into your program? I don't think so, right? They learn part of your program.
Sir, yes, sir, they are learning it as a part of the program. Yeah, we are starting from the basic programming, sir.
Yeah, so you don't really need to know everything, before joining your the BSc, program as such. It will be covered.
No, sir, there is no prerequisite like that, sir. We are starting from the basics itself.
That's what. So wonderful. So you just come as a white paper, and that's it. You will be carved with all those, or you'll be given all those fundamentals, of programming and everything. So what else? Which platform can be used to implement AI efficiently? Okay, this is an open-ended question. We have a lot of platforms in there. You have IBM Watson. You have like Google, having their own platforms. Microsoft, they have their own platforms, and open source. You can explore. There are a lot of open source frameworks as well. And which specific platform on which specific purpose will actually, give you answer to that question. So artificial narrow intelligence, this is still a way ahead, or the artificial general intelligence as well. So we are right now in the inception of AI utilization and consumption. This is not the end of the story. This is just the beginning of the story. And maybe in the next 1 decade or so, we'll get into the artificial narrow intelligence, the more precise, more deep neural network activity, and the learning aspects as well for the machine. And because the human intelligence, matching human intelligence and the perfection for a machine, it will definitely take time. So the kind of jobs or the kind of projects right now which will be created are basically where the level 0 to level 2 cognitive abilities, say on a scale of 5, on L1 to L5, level 1 to level 5. The level 1 and level 2 jobs can be achieved with the current maturity of the AI. 3, 4, 5 years, humans are pretty much required. Okay, so that high scale jobs or high cognitive jobs is where we might eventually see the artificial narrow intelligence coming into picture, and the super intelligence. Right now, focus is on the large scale data analysis, and deriving insights on the predictive and the prescriptive mode. That is where, yes, humans, it takes a lot of time, and we need computing power, huge computing power, and those image processing, the spatial image processing, especially when it comes to digital twin kind of technologies, right, where you have lot of spatial data to be analyzed, and human eye or human computing power will definitely give results, but the only thing is the time. Okay, there are few areas where we take a lot of time, and that is where we augment it with machine. So they are the places where we really have AI taking the place right now. And is coined during the year 55 McCarthy, like, will India become a superpower on AI? Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, artificial intelligence is not a new term. It has been there. Whatever is not human, of course, is artificial intelligence. You're programming all these years, whatever you've seen. It's about the maturity and now having the self ability to self-think and make decisions on its own rather than just following the instructions. Okay, and will India become a superpower on AI? I wish, I hope, and it is all in our hands. If we all commit to this journey, if we all commit, our next 1 decade, okay, to learn, to come out of our comfort zones, to embrace, these technologies, create products, create ventures, then yes, that statement will become a reality. Superpower of AI, yes, it will. But it's a collective effort. It's not a one person's dream, Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi dreaming. Okay, but we all have to put our efforts in there. Okay, the state government heads, the chief minister having a very good, vision of taking, artificial intelligence forward, and that is where today your programs are in here. Your Bharatiya University. I do work with the leadership there, and I know how much efforts they're actually really putting to bring in this large-scale transformation. Dr. Devi, Dr. Professor, Dr. Kalraj Garu, and everyone, they have this wonderful dream and vision to carve, the territory as the AI superpower, but it depends on our commitments as well. Okay, robotics fundamentals, it's part of your syllabus, actually. And how much proficiency in mathematics is needed to learn AI? I would say, it depends on what kind of a job you want to get into. If you want to be a hardcore programmer, writing the core algorithms, definitely you need to be an expert in the mathematics and statistical analysis and those, all those algorithms, all the mathematical models. Okay, because that is what you're going to actually convert it into a digital factor, and that is where your programming skills are intertwined with your core mathematical and your statistical skills. But what if in case there are other modes of jobs as well, where you just use the existing models and then you just actually assemble them, like how you're doing your websites today, or how we are using those commercial off-the-shelf products, more of drag and drop and integrating them. Those models already exist, and if you want to, all you need to do is go understand what that model is, how it is, how the logic is written, is it relevant to your business problem or a business requirement, make a decision. Yes, in order to make the decision as well, you need to understand the mathematical and statistical part. There you need not have to be an expert on the mathematical and statistical model. Okay, you understand the intrinsics of this. Yes, if you're able to make a decision based on your understanding, and then you recommend it to the team. So this could be for the product managers, or this could be for those architects, and this could be even for the business analyst kind of roles and leadership who are actually pushing AI into the companies. For them, you don't have to be really experts in the mathematics and statistics. But for those who want to actually sit and write the real code, okay, and come up with those models, yes, your proficiency really matters. So understand the landscape, what kind of jobs are existing, and and as I told, right, these jobs never existed before. There will be hundreds of job roles or even thousands of job roles which will evolve. One of the study, if I read, 700 to 800 new job titles have evolved in the last 2 or 3 years, replacing the existing job titles. And all the job titles and the job descriptions were totally different from the previous generation of jobs. So based on the need, based on the requirement, the job titles and job roles are evolving. So it is impossible at this moment for anyone to say, hey, these are the skill sets that you have to know in order to crack just that job, which was maybe, you learn SAP, you get a job, you learn .NET, you will get a job. This kind of statements you might have heard, but that era is gone now. So now and going forward, try to understand everything as much as possible. Put them into some kind of a project where you can apply things. The rapid learning and rapid implementation is what is the key now and going forward. And I see all electronic products support artificial intelligence. Example, car, automatically controlled airplane come in the next generation. Yes, it's penetrating into every aspect of our life. Our mobiles, our smart watches, our the Google Glass or the Geo Glass that we're talking about today. There is a lot of AI in that as well. Okay, it's not just the AR VR thing. Behind the screens there is a lot of AI, and we are AI coming into picture there, and your cars, your mobility, your traffic management, to that sense, your cities waste management is being monitored. Your city surveillance are being monitored. Actually, I don't know how many cities are adopting it, but eventually this will spread to every city and every town in the country, and that is where we'll see a lot of workforce requirement there, and how BCA graduates get AI career. That's what we've been discussing all this while. So, yeah, you have a lot of career options, government and corporate, and within the country, outside the country, and what else? Yeah, neural network will overcome AI in future. I think neural network is part of the AI story actually. So AI is the new name for computer science, I would say. Okay, and neural networks and all those things, they are different dimensions in your technology. Okay, so nothing is going to replace anything. So AI is a landscape, it's not a subject. Okay, AI is a landscape altogether. So annual salaries and all, it's a very good question again. Depends on what kind of company you're working for, what kind of a project and all, but they are going to be much better than what the current baselines here. Right now, I think it's around 3 to 5 lakhs is the package what the freshers get. But if you're having these AI skills and all, I'm sure on an average your pay packages would be more than on an average at least 6 to 8 lakhs per annum where you begin, comparatively to the legacy technologies and legacy careers as such. Does AI have any role to play in India's defense sector? It's already doing, and also you can do some research on that. There's a lot of AI, and any nation, not just India, okay, any nation, the way technology propagates is always it starts with defense. Any country, be it US, India, Israel, any country, because they have a lot of budgets in there, and any niche technology, space, research, and defense are two places where technology is always ahead. 10 years, they're always 10 years ahead in implementing technology solutions. From there, things propagate to the social life, because that is very important for the country's existence and for the integrity factors as such. So yes, defense sector, there is already, and there is scope for more AI into the defense sector. Yeah, will internships play any vital role in student career? Yes, definitely. It's from Mr. Karthik. So yes, Mr. Karthik, definitely will internships play, as I was referring from the beginning. Okay, and even yesterday, one of the session, I was very much pushing this point. Whatever you're learning, part of your curriculums and all, will give you real good understanding of the basic building blocks. Okay, like if I comparing it with your driving lessons or maybe with your cooking lessons, right? Okay, explaining, okay, this is what is the kitchen, okay, these are the the tools, or this is the raw material, this is how you cut, this is how you basically cook. Somebody showing you is different, but when you have to go and cook it by yourself, that is when you'll really learn, okay, how things work. There's a lot of confusion. Looking at a video or somebody explaining is different, but when you actually do the cooking job, it's a different story. Same thing with the driving. Somebody sitting next to you or somebody sitting in the driving seat, they're explaining you is different. But when you start driving, that is when you'll understand, okay, you have to focus on the steering, you have to focus on the rear view mirrors, you have to focus on, the traffic. There are 10 to 15 parallel processing jobs which happen in your brain. On day one, there is a lot of confusion. And as you progress, all these parallel processes will align and they work in harmony. So that's what happens, when you actually join the internships and all. Having theoretical knowledge and all is wonderful, no doubt about it. We can speak for hours on that. But when you have to implement it, when you have to go and, deliver a job, that is where your internship experiences are the ones which are going to pay off. Okay, don't worry if somebody is paying you for the internship or not. Get into those work sessions. If you get an opportunity, don't think twice. And there's a question from, will we have access to this session on YouTube and Facebook for future reference? I think the organizers should answer this. I'm assuming it's a yes. And what degree is best for AI? Now we are having a degree on AI. So basically, BSc or BTech or your MSc programs in artificial intelligence. Yeah, now that AI has become a major, it's no more an elective. Okay, so you are going to get a degree in AI itself. So yeah, to that question, yes, this will be aired on YouTube for future reference as well. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very a very knowledgeable session. Where because we have students from the present degree students as well as the students who have already enrolled in this program. I think again I would like to repeat that the degree program is known as BSc Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, which is affiliated to Bharatiya University and approved by UGC. So the degree you will be earning is BSc Artificial and Machine Learning. It's a 3-year program. The admissions are on. The students who would be interested to join can join this program, as we would be starting our online classes shortly, so students can join. I think Mr. Srikanth sir had given a very detailed talk on artificial intelligence. Of course, your webinar will not be able to clear all the doubts, or you will not be able to learn AI. So it's just.
So we were discussing the opportunities, not the real AI subject. That is a 3-year course, and we're giving a sneak peek of the opportunities and where they apply. Why you should take this? Do you really have life or not? No. Should I invest on this program? Should I pay the fee? Should I invest 3 years? Yes. You have a return on your investment. Go for it. That's it. So
yeah. So it's not a very costly program. Also, we charge around 30,000 rupees only for semester. Okay. Yeah, that's also, it's per annum. It's only around 60,000 rupees, which is very affordable in today's scenario. And we have also got a system where the students have joined this first year. We have bought in a 0% interest EMI scheme, which is being funded by a financial company. So this is only for the first years. They have come out with this scheme where the students joining this year at AJK College would be eligible for the scheme, where they can pay the fees in 3 installments. They can pay the fees in 3 installments, and they don't have to pay any interest. It's a 0% interest. It's from a financial company where they want the students to get into higher education. So they are part of our institution. They are helping us so that we get more of students from the rural. You look at the AJK students profile. 80% of the students are from the rural background, and we give very good placements. I should not talk about it. Students should talk about the placements and everything, because as an administrator, I will only tell we give good placements. The students should tell that they have got good placements. And I think most of the students who have also joined this year in placements are on board. I heard even last week, Wipro and Cognizant has called our students and told them to join online, and students are joining on board. So once again, I would like to thank Talluri sir. We will be very happy to have you also as on board, and keep advising us, and also to be on the advisory board, so that you would be able to give your best knowledge to the students, and also where the students can come online. I think you shared your newsletter also, and I will also put up in our Facebook and in our Instagram the link, so that the students can start looking at those things and start gaining more experience.
I even suggest you encourage your students to actually contribute towards the journal. They can get in touch with our journal team. They can submit. They can start writing the stories, the perspective stories as such. Okay.